Hello, I'm Maralyn Chase, your state senator from the 32nd Legislative District. The devastating earthquake which ravaged Japan last week shocked and saddened all of us. Our hearts go out to those good people as they continue to search for loved ones and rebuild their lives and communities. We've all seen the catastrophic destruction caused by the enormous quake and subsequent tsunami. The question is, have we learned anything from it? As the death toll mounts and damage persists in Japan, it should be crystal clear to us in this state that when it comes to emergency preparedness, we must be proactive. A reactive response will be too late. There are 13 major known faults in the Puget Sound region alone. And most experts agree that it is not a matter of if a major earthquake will strike our state, but when. I'm sure most of you remember the Nisqually quake of 2001. That measured 6.8 on the Richter scale. The quake that struck Japan was a 9.0. No one can predict when and where an earthquake will strike, which is why we must do everything we can to prepare ourselves in the event that one does. On the legislative side of this notion, we are working on a bill that will establish Washington as part of an intrastate mutual aid system for emergency management. Many areas have agreements and working relationship with their immediate neighbors, but the reality is, in a large-scale disaster, help will need to come from different jurisdictions. Emergency managers with equipment from other areas are likely to have the resources necessary to help, but would be unable to deploy until agreements are established. With Japan as an example, by then it could be too late. This legislation will do away with the individual agreements typically necessary to providing emergency assistance. Elected officials and other public servants are doing everything they can do to prepare our state in the event of a disaster. But every individual person and household should have a plan in place for their own family when disaster strikes. After Katrina, we all made some preparation for a comparable disaster, but some of us may have become complacent. Here are some tips you and your family can follow before, during, and after a natural disaster. You should always have at least 3 days of water and non-perishable food on hand. Be sure to have spare batteries, flashlights, and a battery-powered radio. First aid kits and fire extinguishers are also a priority. Keep in mind who you'll be hunkered down with. If infants, the elderly, or pets are part of your family, be sure to have supplies that meet their needs. Make sure also to have a variety of tools and clothes that will work in any climate. Know how to shut off the gas, electricity, and water at the valves and main switches. Earthquake drills are a valuable tool to get your family ready. Be sure every member of your home has a designated safe place to go under heavy furniture, tables, or door jambs. Be sure to stay away from windows and any unsecured items that could fall. If you've recently moved furniture, make sure that it is securely anchored to the wall. Remember that aftershocks can also do damage. Be sure to proceed cautiously and seek shelter when you feel them. Turn on the radio for additional instructions, and if you live in a coastal area, know your tsunami evacuation routes, and when it is safe, move to high ground immediately. Check for hazards around your home, such as small fires, spilled flammable liquids, cracked pipes, exposed wires, and cracked walls and masonry. There are additional precautions you and your family can follow to prepare and survive an earthquake or other natural disaster. Please take time to visit the websites at the bottom of the screen to create an emergency preparedness plan that works for your family. Also, please do what you can to help our friends in Japan by donating to your local Red Cross. That is all for this week, and let me know what you think. And as always, please contact my office with any comments, questions, or concerns. My information is at the bottom of your screen. Thanks for watching.